What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to today's news tonight. It is Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. I'm your host for this episode, Steve Bowling. As always, I'm joined by my co-founders in Good Vibes Gaming, Ash Paulson and Derek Bittner. And as you can see in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, we have a special guest, a man after my own heart, both in terms of gear, software, and taste in anime. Aurum from YouTube /C/AurumVG. How's it going, man?
How's it going, man? I'm glad to be here. And yes, I am after your heart. You know, we can discuss more tech off stream, you know?
That's right.
But,
I'm going to be in those DMs talking about nerd stuff with you, man.
oh, yeah.
I don't know many people that meet at the same cross section of nerdery that we do. So I'm excited to have found a kindred spirit.
Yes. That piques my interest in your taste in anime, man, because Steve is one of the very few fellow anime fans I know who shares my undying love for Ranma 1/2.
Hell yes.
I don't meet a lot of other Ranma 1/2 fans, and so I have to ask, Aurum, you a Ranma guy?
I'm not a Ranma guy, unfortunately.
All right.
But I know of it,
though.
Okay,
I mean, fair enough. That's good enough.
So Ash, you'll like this. I never watched I've only seen a little bit of the anime, but I read the entirety of the manga.
Wow.
Because I think I forgot that you did that. Yeah.
Yeah, on my senior skip day, I'm a nerd. I'm really lame, and I really enjoy reading. I spent my senior skip day going to Borders and just going through, like, they had a little chair set up so you could read, and I spent the entire day at Borders just going through the Ranma collection that they had.
Nice.
And just read that entire thing. And I didn't finish it, but my friend later gave me a disc containing all the chapters, so I finished it up there. And boy, nice. It's pretty repetitious. Two, doesn't really have an ending. There's a fun final arc, but it doesn't really.
There's
have
an ending, but not like a capital E ending. It's one of the most disappointing finales.
Yeah, it's a nothing burger of an ending.
It's a nothing burger, essentially. Yeah. They basically say, hey, what you want to happen happens, but you don't get to see it. So
I hate implied happy endings. Like, I hate that so much. Like, just give me my payoff, my emotional payoff.
There really is no payoff. It's just like, well, it's still the same. They're like, it's the same as they've always been, and it'll always be that way.
I don't know, man. I really like. It would be the equivalent of, like, taking it back to My Hero. Like, if they just say, like, at the end, Deku's not grown up or anything, and they're like, and then he became the #1 hero. Bye. Like, I just don't want that. I would be so upset. Although the manga is getting wild.
Yes. Oh,
like,
yes, we got to talk about that.
I mean, people.
I am not caught up on the manga.
Oh,
so
no.
I might have to step away if you guys start doing that, because I've only watched the anime. I'm tempted to read the manga just so I can.
Oh my god, you have to. You have to.
Because all I know is that for future stuff, in the most general sense, is the bunny girl that showed up, I think Mirko, in the last episode of the latest season, is apparently wildly popular. She is everywhere on Twitter.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I don't follow the Twitter culture around My Hero just because I don't have time for that. I just open the Shonen Jump app and read it every week, and I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I keep hoping there's like a secret double chapter every week. I'm like, just give me 14 more pages to go through this. But I will tell you, Derek, if you're an anime only fan of My Hero, bro, you are missing out. Like, it is a page turner. God damn.
I mean, I did not expect the fight between Endeavor and that blanking on the name, the monster guy, to be that intense in the last episode.
I'm trying to think. Are you talking about Nomo?
Have you watched the anime at all, Steve?
Me? Yeah. As far as My Hero? Oh, I've watched all of My Hero, yeah.
Okay. You seem confused when I was talking about the Endeavor fight.
Well, I was trying to think which one it was, because, like,
there's a couple. The first, I guess, let's go with the first one, where he's sort of recognized as a hero, I guess, by the wide world, is recognized as #1. As Tiano Ben says, the high-end Nobu. The one that necessitated his costume change, let's say, for the movie that came out.
Oh, see, I haven't seen the movies. So
the movies are pretty decent.
Oh, okay.
I'm one of those guys that I don't watch anime movies unless I know for a fact they're canon. Like Dragon Ball burned me on that one with like their 23
you can
movies.
Squeeze My Hero into the canon.
Interesting. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, I've always just read manga and watched the official anime, and that's it. So I would just say, man, like you're gonna be waiting a long time for some real cool stuff to happen that has already happened in the manga. Like it'll drive you crazy. Like it's yeah. That's all I'm gonna say. We can't go into spoiler territory because there's too many My Hero fans in the chat, and I don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
But there is.
You watch just offhand, Aurum?
Let's see. I've seen a lot of everything that's past maybe the year 2001.
Wow.
Like coming up with an entire list off the top of my head,
Yeah,
there's
it's tough.
stuff like Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist, Attack
All
on
right.
Titan, a lot of mainstream ones. 90 stuff, not so much. Like the classics like Dragon Ball, I've seen. Everyone's seen that one. But I do have a lot of more contemporary things.
Have you watched Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
That is probably one of my favorite animes, if not top. It's definitely in top 5.
Have you watched Hunter x Hunter?
I have not. I need to.
I've heard
but
really good things.
I usually watch anime, so I don't read the manga, and I know he has so many delays for Hunter x Hunter. But apparently the more recent anime that I think is on Netflix is really good.
Yes.
So
FMA Brotherhood is my favorite anime of all time. Like, so I noticed you mentioned FMA. I think that show can pretty much do no wrong. I have a couple of very minor criticisms, but both FMA series really. But Brotherhood is it's pretty much perfect in my eyes. It's really hard to find anything wrong
not
with
quite. It handles.
It's close. Yeah,
It doesn't handle the early stuff very well. That the original anime does better.
See,
I will not handle any slander of that one.
I'm going to go...
Which one, the original or the...
Brotherhood. Brotherhood, in my eyes, is the perfect anime that has ever existed. Not a single other anime comes here. I have, like, off-screen over there, I have, like, as many cardboard... Or, like, the new prints of the manga going on right now. I love Brotherhood so much. It actually is my number one, too.
There's one key plot point in the first half of the original series that I don't think... I know what you're talking about, Derek. That isn't handled quite as well, simply because there isn't enough time for that plot thing to digest or percolate as long, because it moves on to other stuff faster. But I think pretty much other than that, I hear you, Aurum. It's pretty much the perfect anime.
The funny thing is that's one series where I read the manga, but I have Brotherhood. I just haven't sat down to watch all of Brotherhood.
Okay.
I need to, but I know the story because I've read the entire manga. That said, I think the original FMA is still really good. I like not knowing how it ends at the time, they figured out a wild way to make it all work.
Yeah, it was cool. I still like it.
Sure.
And I still like Conqueror Shambhala. I know a lot of people bounced off of it. I really liked it as a what if alternative ending and a take on the whole universe. I still think it's a cool movie.
Yeah.
I need to watch Conqueror because I watched original FMA, but I never truly finished it because I got through the end. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Oh, there's a movie. I got to watch that. And then just never did.
Right.
Nice. I will accept judgment all day for loving Naruto more than anything. I mean...
Hey, that's fair.
It's
fair, but...
It's an easy choice, I think.
Reading the manga at a certain point, so...
See, I picked up the manga right as it came to America, and I just stuck with it. And I don't know, something about following it like contemporaneously to its release. It's the only manga I've ever done that with that has finished. And so I'm just like, it holds a special place in my heart because I remember being choked up. I'm like, I've been watching this for 10 years and now it's over. I'm like, that's a lot of time sunk into it. With Dragon Ball, it was in the past, and with One Piece, it's ongoing. And with another one of my favorites, which is criminally underrated and needs a new season, is Hajime no Ippo, which is like a boxing anime.
Right.
Have you seen Megalobox, Steve?
Yes. Oh my God, it's so good.
That is a good anime.
I've never heard that. Okay.
I never watched Hajime no Ippo but God, Megalobox is a fantastic.
Megalobox is basically a futuristic retelling of Ashita no Joe, which is another boxing anime, which has just one of the best endings of any anime ever. So Megalobox is way up there on my list. Like, it is fantastic. Speed Grapher, if you want a deep cut, is super good, and so is Ergo Proxy. Like, if you've never seen Speedgrapher or Ergo Proxy, they are both really dark animes that tell real screwed up stories, but they will take you for a ride, and they're both short series, like 30 episodes or something.
That
Trust
sounds
me.
like Devilman Crybaby. Short, but really screwed up.
Yep.
Really screwed up. Rob Arman X says, if we're talking about near perfect anime, Your Lie in April. Yeah, if you want to ugly cry, if you want a really good anime and you just want to ugly cry, a lot of stress out, that's the anime to watch. It is horrifically sad, but such a beautiful show.
By the way, a little earlier, I noticed also I saw a name in the chat that I did not recognize. Actually, maybe two. Aaron Bird. I'm not sure if we've seen you in the chat before. I apologize if so. FMA Brotherhood, Yas, and then Andre Huang, who says I'm one of those weird people who likes the original FMA better. So I don't know. I more. Welcome to the chat. Also, I don't recognize Cloud and Collected. I don't think there's getting to be a lot of you, so I'm trying to keep track of everybody.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yes,
welcome everybody. Also, before we move on to the news, Steve, I believe we have a birthday shout out, right?
That is correct. Our executive producer Z Patty's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Z Patty! I wish I had known.
I think I saw somebody else's birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, it's Cloud and Collected who has specified Cloud Monte Claro. So
okay.
Cloud Monte Claro. Okay. So well, happy belated birthday to you, Cloud and Collected.
Yeah. Happy belated. Yeah. That's awesome. Like I love all you guys, but happy birthday to the two of you. I will message you individually on Discord to send my well wishes. Yeah. But I think we should get into the news. Like we spent a half hour talking about anime. So,
I love this.
Well, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Yeah.
Also, Kitty Kong facts. Make it to one of these live and you're talking about anime. Shake my head on DKC3 Eve no less.
Eve.
I love it.
Hey, we shouted you out multiple times on our last episode.
Yeah. I know your Twitter's been blowing up.
Yeah, Kitty Kong has come to Switch.
Yeah.
I have fun plans for Friday.
Nice.
Oh, you do?
Looking forward to that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
for a DKC3 release.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm not saying anymore.
Okay, I'm excited.
All right.
I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't quite know what they are either. So
well, you know,
stay tuned.
Actually,
okay. It is what you told me about earlier. I just wasn't sure if that was in stone. So
I think I'm the only one out of the loop. Then I don't know.
That's great. Yeah, stay tuned. Friday's going to be real cool.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and just jump into our first story. A little bit of good vibes to start the episode out. So on the Xbox blog, they posted something. This was from yesterday, but I thought it was good to share today because it's an objectively positive story. And this is that Microsoft, Nintendo, and PlayStation have combined forces to basically combat toxicity in online gaming, which is really cool because at one point, Xbox was the company that was known for this stuff. Like, they literally marketed their games about how much of a dick you could be to your friends online. And Sony followed suit. Like, I remember they had videos of, like, the then president of Sony during the PS3 era, like, trash-talking people while playing online. They even had Kevin Butler commercials, like, that advertised how you could be a horrible person to your friends on the internet with this. So the relevant paragraph reads, at Xbox, we are aligned with both Nintendo on behalf of the community of Nintendo Switch players and PlayStation in our belief that protecting players online requires a multidisciplinary approach, one that combines the benefits of advanced technology, a supportive community, and skilled human oversight. We can accomplish more when we work toward the same goal, and so we will each continue investing in, evolving, and amplifying our approaches to user safety. As we continue this work, we will prioritize protecting the safety of our players, especially the most vulnerable. And yeah, I would say this is something that kind of comes as like a no-duh kind of thing in 2020. Right. But nonetheless, it's nice to hear. Like, it's nice to hear these companies say, we are not going to allow, bigoted, nasty crap on our platforms. Like, to just have a platform level condemnation of that type of behavior. So
the thing for me about this is, like, this is great. It's objectively positive. I obviously agree with you, but so far, this reads to me like so much PR speak, because we've heard these kinds of promises before, and they often are not followed through on. And I'm not saying that the big three here don't intend to follow through on this. They might, and I hope they do. But I want to see the proof, because I mean, I can go play Super Mario 35, and it wouldn't take, or Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it wouldn't take me very long to find usernames that really probably are not things that kids should be seeing, right? So, there's clearly a lot of work to be done, even on Nintendo's platform, and so this is an objectively positive thing, but I will believe it when I see it, and I believe they're going to make the effort. I just hope they really follow through on it.
Yeah, I think from a technology side, this is interesting, Ash, because you touched on something I didn't even think about, which is offensive usernames, right? And then because Microsoft and Sony have done a pretty good job of like auto filtering out bad content and usernames for years now. And Nintendo is clearly behind on that. I remember when the Switch first got hacked, like people were like just uploading dicks as profile pics and all kinds of other nasty crap to Nintendo Switch Online. And I'll be honest, I don't know if they ever fixed it. I assume they did. I don't know.
Just have to look at Miiverse.
Yeah, that too. I miss
Miiverse, but I also know why it had to die. I know why it had to die. But I do miss just the absolute absurdity of what you could find on Miiverse. But there was also a lot of horrible stuff you could find, including one story that reminds me of for the GX days that I'll tell some other time. But it was pretty awkward.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What's your take on this, Aurum?
Well, it's just I'm glad that there's a unilateral kind of thing going on with all these companies, because it just means that as a gamer, no matter what platform that you're on, you can feel like these companies will try to take the steps to make you feel good. And I think that's a very good thing to have. Hopefully they actually do it, but it remains to be seen. But I'm glad that it exists because, again, like Miiverse, it was a wild, wild west. It was just like early Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And so nuking Miiverse, cleaning up Xbox Live, those are all things that I would say bettered society or maybe just gaming. But...
and gaming still has a long way to go, but we're slowly making progress, kinda, maybe, I hope. I remember the old trash talk days. I mean, like, the whole kill yourself thing, like, you're so bad at that, and it's like, you look back at that language, it's like, jeez. Just like, oh my god, just crazy stuff there, but it's good to see.
However,
it's good that they're at least ostensibly coming out against this to make it seem like now we just need actual punishments in place.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's lacking. I mean, Nintendo, it's weird because they're kind of the best and kind of the worst at this. I mean, you can't really send mean messages on the Switch because you can't send any kind of message. And voice.
The swap note thing was a mess, and that's probably why they're so gun shy about even allowing people to communicate now.
I mean, I don't necessarily miss it because I can't remember the last time I popped open like my friends list on any platform. I was like, I'm going to send a text message to someone.
Sure. True.
Like I'll usually just my close group of friends, I'll invite them into a party. We'll start party chat. We'll talk shit to each other. That's fine. Like if it's my best friend doing it, I'm cool with that. And then we'll just disconnect, like I almost never ever send a message. Like if I'm going to share a screenshot these days, it goes to Twitter. I'm like, oh, this will be cool for the couple thousand people that pay attention to the dumb things I put on the internet. But beyond that, like I feel like messaging is almost an outdated method of communication in games. So yeah, I mean, but then the question is, how do you moderate speech, right? Like obviously there are bad things that people say all the time in voice chat because they think it can't be recorded, but how do you proactively prevent that, right? Like,
I mean, they do have this whole line about prevention where they say empower players and parents to understand and control gaming experiences.
Yeah, but I feel like the way that reads, like even what you just said is like empowering parents like me to go to my kid and be like, well, Call of Duty has a bunch of racists. Yeah. Call of Duty is full of racist 12-year-olds, so you can't play. Which, I mean, is unfortunate. I do remember
the old Xbox Live adage where it was, the 12-year-olds on Xbox Live saying horrible, horrible things to everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
And now they're 22-year-olds, and that makes a lot more sense than I'm thinking about it.
Yep.
Oh, God.
I will say, I still draw the line at and will always defend. While I do think Miiverse needed to be nuked, I will always say that Smash Wii U was objectively better with the Miiverse stage than it was after it was deactivated, after the Miiverse functionality was deactivated, because there has still never been quite anything like that in Smash since. And it's probably a good thing, I admit it, but... at the same time, that stage led to some of the most uproarious laugh sessions, just like the stuff that would come up when things have nothing to do with what you're actually seeing. The things that would come up when you get a KO with a certain character and just the ridiculous things you would see. But at the same time, as people who've been Game Explained fans for a long time know, it was always weaponized to, spoil people on Game of Thrones, for example. People know that story, or other shows. So it was definitely weaponized, and it's probably good that it's gone. But I do miss it. Only the stage.
We kind of have the same idea though with Splatoon 2.
We do have that.
It's a bit more localized.
I love that Splatoon 2 still has that drawing mechanic to it, though. I'll never draw anything in it. I can't draw for anything. But
some amazing artists on that, though.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, seriously.
I need to play
But that's a part of Miiverse the service I actually do miss. Some of those artists were unbelievably talented. Like, I'm over here like an idiot trying to draw on my Wii U gamepad, and I can't draw anything anyway, but I especially don't know how people draw on that on that touchscreen, the resistive touchscreen. And it's resistive, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how people do that, but people make these incredible art or pieces of art, and I miss, because there was some really cool Miiverse art out there.
Just like a flip note and everything on the DS.
Oh yeah, man! It amazes me when someone's like, "I bought this $100 portable game device. I'm going to create beautiful art on it that is ephemeral and will disappear whenever Nintendo decides it's gone." Which is sad, but yeah, it's incredible to me when I see people create just these amazing pieces of art that I couldn't do if I had like the highest end equipment on earth, and they're using like a freaking Switch and a rubber stylus.
Yeah.
It makes me feel bad about me. Just kidding. I'm not at all artistic, but anyway, let's go ahead and throw our next story up and see what we've got. All right, so here's another bit of good news. The Mortal Kombat movie remake is hitting theaters April 16th, 2021, which I'm really, really surprised by. I thought this movie was at least like 6 more months off.
I don't think we've gotten a trailer yet.
I don't think we have. I haven't seen anything from this movie.
And what's also cool is that this is one of those movies that's been affected by WB's decision to release movies day and date on HBO Max,
which is great.
Yeah. So either way,
that HBO Max thing is certainly its own can of worms for the movie fans, because apparently WB gave no warning to the people they were doing this to.
Yeah.
And it is a like what that, like, all of a sudden, like, why is this happening? What are you doing? And like the people behind Legendary who have this, like, for Godzilla versus King Kong and Dune are pissed. Like they are not happy about the state of things, about them, the movies just getting dumped on the HBO Max. And that's because HBO Max is struggling. It's having a hard time finding its footing. And I guess this is a decent way, because I'll be honest, I am interested in Wonder Woman 84. I don't feel comfortable going to movie theaters yet, so I'll maybe look into getting HBO Max at this point for this stuff. But it's still like, what an odd time.
I know, right?
Aurum, are you a
we
big?
already have it, but,
sorry. Aurum, are you a big Mortal Kombat guy? Do you?
Not really. No. I don't even like. I know there's an original movie that came out long ago, and I don't think it's been received very well, if I'm wrong. But
it's just so bad it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like a B movie, yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
didn't
The
know that
original
there's-
Mortal Kombat movie is awesome. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that this new one was coming out. So this right here is news to me. And
And the new one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh yeah, well I mean HBO Max, right? So that's actually pretty. If it's struggling right now, I can kind of understand why they're being mad. I think that HBO Max still has potential. I know that I think, what's it, Warner Brothers, they own Turner. They got a lot of Cartoon Network stuff on there.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of that. They've got a bunch of good stuff on there. I think they need to work on the marketing, but I think
Yeah.
they might have a chance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as I understand it, it's also already been confirmed as being R-rated. So that's
they
something
are
that Mortal
going
Kombat should be. Yeah, I'm glad
Apparently
they're
a
going
bit
for that R
more
rating.
but I really don't know the cast or anything like that. So
Same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the
but,
biggest problem for me is we're 3 months, or well, 4 months out from release, and I don't know who's in this movie. I don't know what this movie looks like. I have no, like, I want to see it because it's Mortal Kombat, and I personally really like the series. And I'm with you guys. The campy movie is a so bad it's good movie. Like, it's a classic of that type of bad movie, So I'm really wanting to see this. I'm going in with low expectations, but at the same time, there's nothing really driving my hype for this. I would say though, I agree with Derek. Like, the combination of this and Wonder Woman 84 definitely had me thinking about subbing to HBO Max, because I would pay to see those two movies. And like Derek, I don't want to go to a theater. Like, right now doesn't seem like a great time to do that. So
I'm a Cartoon Network fan, and I think they also have that Harley Quinn TV show, which apparently is really good, and it's getting a third season. So I'm interested in that sort of thing.
nice.
Like, there's good
Yeah.
stuff on HBO Max, but there's so many streaming services out there that I don't
Yeah.
know what to do, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people do this sort of thing, and that my friend group does, where each friend subs to a different streaming service and shares passwords. So now, like, you pay for the one thing, and everybody has access to all the different ones,
Yeah.
which
Exactly.
definitely cuts into the profits of those. But
yeah, but
it's what you have to do when it's basically cable all over again.
Yeah, we thankfully already have HBO Max because we both love watching the show Euphoria, and that's an HBO Max exclusive, and so we have it for Euphoria pretty much, and for, we watch some other movies on there occasionally, but this would be great to have for Wonder Woman and Mortal Kombat, and I've seen a lot of people in the chat who have not seen the first Mortal Kombat movie, and I would even venture so far to say it's a campy movie, but I don't think it's a campy bad movie. I think Mortal Kombat is actually one of the rare video game films that is actually pretty
It's usually
good in terms
touted
of
as
being
the best.
close to its source material. Yeah, it's actually it's a good campy movie. Street Fighter is a bad campy movie in terms of being faithful to Street Fighter, but it's still
fun.
an incredibly good time. I love that movie to death. But
It's so
I think
fun.
Mortal Kombat is actually pretty good, to be honest. But
Yeah.
the sequel though, Annihilation, that's just
Oh.
bad, campy,
That's bad.
yeah.
Probably
You want to
not
see a
even
bad
worth
movie,
watching.
Aurum? You watch
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation. It is.
Yeah, that one not so much.
Well, I
That's
think
like
game movies are on the
C-grade.
rise, anyways. So I feel like we're getting better ones over time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
I mean, if Sonic of all franchises, if Sonic can turn out as well as it did, then I think there's hope for video game movies yet.
I actually heard. I saw. Not an in-depth review, but somebody is talking about it a little bit on Twitter, a movie critic, for Monster Hunter, and they say it is a movie with terrible characters. The characters suck in the movie. However, it apparently is just balls out action the entire time.
Oh,
Just
wow.
constant action with
Nice.
some crazy fights in it, and apparently is good in that sense. So if you want to just see awful characters fighting crazy monsters, there's maybe an audience for that.
I'll probably watch it
Yeah.
when it's like on a streaming service. I'm not gonna go out of my way to
Yeah, I
find
know,
it
that's
though.
the same way I am.
All right, so
Charlie Bird says in the chat, "Bison dollars." Exactly, Charlie. Bison dollars.
oh my god,
Yeah.
that is one of the best
I love
bad
that movie so
movies.
much.
That's a Street Fighter movie with Raul
love that
Julia is
movie.
incredible. Like,
Yeah.
someone's like, let's get like the skinniest, shortest dude in the world to play
Well, it's 'cause-
the final boss of Street Fighter 2 in a movie. Let's get
I mean,
Gomez
he's also,
from the
like,
Addams
he's,
family.
it was his like last movie, and his kids requested it, so that's what he did for his like present for his kids.
Well, that's what makes it so
like,
interesting is he was like fighting cancer during the shooting of it, and yet he still made it the role of a lifetime, literally. Like,
well, now I feel bad for ragging on dude for being skinny. Shit. I didn't realize.
It's okay.
Well, that's like when you find it. We all found out about. I feel so bad
Chadwick
about
Boseman.
What's that?
From Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like, how the heck did this guy pull it off?
Because he's a fucking legend.
So
that's
much
how.
Respect for that man to bring us like 4 action-heavy Marvel movies when we retroactively found out he was battling cancer the whole time. Like, that's just incredible. And yeah, Raul Julia too. He made it the role of a lifetime, and he was a literally larger-than-life presence on screen, and yet he was sick off screen. Really, so much respect for these guys.
Yeah. Yeah. No joke.
I don't recommend Street Fighter over Mortal Kombat if you just want a fun movie.
Yeah,
it's a good double. It's a great double feature though.
Let's
oh yeah, it is.
Let's move on to something a little more light since we took this to a real somber place. Let me throw our next story up on the screen. I think we're going to talk a lot about this one.
Oh yeah.
And that is that this comes courtesy of My Nintendo News. We know now that Sephiroth from the revered Final Fantasy VII will be the next downloadable character in Smash Ultimate on the Switch. The Sakurai Presents Sephiroth video will be 35 minutes long. For what?
In my Mako-riddled veins, man. I am so ready for this.
I don't know how they do that because he doesn't seem that complex. Certainly not compared to Steve. And they've already said there's no other character is going to be getting introduced. So
yeah,
it's gonna. You know why, Derek? It's because they're gonna bring us so much music. They're just gonna need that long to get through it all. That's why.
It's the entire Final Fantasy VII soundtrack.
They're just gonna add after getting 2 songs with Cloud. They're gonna just add the rest of the soundtrack, and they're just gonna go through it.
I mean,
like
this
30 minutes. I wish.
This has to be. There has to be something else, like not a second character reveal, like, you know, that would be the pie in the sky, like, you know, hey, here's when our second character or our next character is coming. But I do feel like they have to go over me costumes and other stuff like that. Like Sakurai doing crazy long presentations for one character is nothing new. I think he did 45 for Terry.
Yeah, that's what 112 says. And then, of course, Break Room Arcade, our friend Brandon said, is that it's pretty run-of-the-mill, which it is. But again, the thing that catches me off guard about is that Sephiroth doesn't seem like a complex character.
Well, remember, though, we said the same thing about Min Min and or Byleth, and what it ended up being was that Sakurai just played through the entire classic mode. So let's hope that's not what this is. Let's hope he's not just playing through classic mode, because as much as I love Sakurai's presentations, and I look forward to them so much, just watching him play classic mode when I could just do that myself when the character drops wasn't that fun. So hopefully this is 35 minutes of everything but that. But, I mean, either way, though, I am so... I mean, I don't have to say how excited I am. It's Sephiroth. Yeah. It's, in Smash. I'm so hyped.
Well, now that we can, have still have this coming, Aurum, what was your take on Sephiroth getting in here and all this craziness?
I can say that I didn't expect that, especially when he came through and slashed Galeem in half. I was thinking, maybe it's, I don't know, Raiden from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, but no, here comes Sephiroth. And maybe that 35 minutes is probably just one big final smash, the longest one, just a whole cutscene.
I would love that, actually.
A meteor just smashing all the planets.
Just all the planets going through. Oh, my... I would love if there was like a 1 in 1,000 chance of that actually happening, where they play the full animation for that one move.
I would love it. You do it right when the timer stops, and by the end it's like time. The match just ends.
But it's exciting though, because you have another anime sword fighter. Obviously, he could have some potential. But he could have such potential. What if they just make him fully turn-based? I don't think that would be fun, but I would love if Sakurai did that. But he's just a big sword. He has all this range, puts Marth to shame, and I would love to see how he plays. Maybe that's 35 minutes worth of just Sakurai testing out the range. Who knows? But I would love to see it.
Yeah,
there's so much to be hyped for.
I'm still going to hold out hope that he's adding a safer Sephiroth boss fight, and that's part of what he shows. Like that Cloud gets safer Sephiroth as a new classic mode boss or something, and we get to see Final Fantasy characters or hell, Nintendo characters fighting against Safer Sephiroth in Smash. That would be a dream come true. But
I mean,
yeah.
Even speaking of Safer Sephiroth, I just want to know how they're assuming that his final smash is Supernova. How are they going to condense that from 2 minutes almost into like a couple of seconds or a few seconds?
Well, we did. Didn't we see a shot of Meteor coming down on a stage?
So what
in the trailer?
That might have been, I think that might have been a cleverly edited like version of, or it's like Sephiroth, obviously looking into the distance. But I think that Meteor was actually the moon assist trophy from Majora's Mask.
Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, just like when Sephiroth slices Midgar in half, it's actually just cleverly timed to make it seem like he's doing it, but it's Odin, the Odin summon, doing it instead.
Right.
So I think that's what that is.
Rob says, Safer Sephiroth in the trailer was just an image. So
yeah.
That's why I don't think he's going to be a full-on boss.
Jared Edinger might be right, actually. They say, I thought it was from the Reset Bomb Forest. It might have been. That might have been just one of the Reset Bomb background animations. Yeah.
Do you have any wild expectations for Sephiroth? Like, do you think he'll have a crazy gimmick related to the one wing orb?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, imagine if, somehow Cloud can have the one wing from Kingdom Hearts, a piece of Kingdom Hearts fans, or something like that. There's so many possibilities because Sephiroth is just so iconic. But there hasn't been enough Final Fantasy in Cloud's character. So there's so many. Maybe you could have some kind of thing with material. I know that's Sephiroth, but you could have something with that. I would love to see that too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but there isn't any special intros or character interactions between other well-known characters like Ryu and Ken or anything like that, is there? They don't
in game or
in game. Like if they're in a 1v1 match, they don't do anything different than if they were in a.
Oh, there is one thing. The Star Fox characters, I think, will say something different to other Star Fox characters during their final smash, if I remember correctly.
Right.
I could be wrong. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure there's a unique voice clip.
Evernight Studio confirms that they do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the most I'm gonna realistically hope for is that Omni / level 5 is in the game. And not just something that they did. Was that wasn't gameplay they showed when you did that, right?
No, that was gameplay they showed.
Oh, never mind. So it is in the game.
Yeah.
I think that the one wing form though is some kind of power up similar to Arsene or any of the. I feel like they highlighted it too much for it not to be.
Yeah. And I just I love that Sakurai outed himself as such a massive Advent Children nerd. I mean, the fact that he recreated so much of that movie for this trailer, and not only that, built and animated and created an entirely unique Final Smash just for Cloud using it on Sephiroth. That is devotion to that movie. And I always thought, story-wise, Advent Children's a mess, sure, but I still think it's a lot of fun to watch visually.
You know what isn't given enough credit in that trailer though? That I didn't even realize it till I read the comments on our own reactions to it. There's like a 2 or 3 frame window between Mario getting impaled and Sephiroth and Cloud fighting, where you can see that Mario just got flung off of the sword and is flying in.
I saw that during the trailer.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
I saw artwork on Twitter where when Sephiroth and Cloud were clashing swords, here's Mario still just hanging off the edge of Sephiroth's sword.
So good. And I actually tweeted something out that got a lot of traction. I figured I was far from the first person to notice these things, but I caught up a couple of hints that Sakurai dropped, I think, towards Sephiroth before One Winged Angel even begins. And the first one is when Pit is kind of staggering and he's weakened. You can only see one of his wings in full view, and of course Pit is an angel, and it's pretty obvious in hindsight. And then later on, or right after that, when Banjo and Kazooie are shown, Kazooie puts her wing on Banjo's head as she sees Galeem sliced in half. And I was like, Sakurai, that's crazy. And then somebody else in my replies pointed out that the way Zelda holds her arm when she's injured at the beginning is the way Cloud holds his arm when he has geostigma in Advent Children. And I'm just like, Sakurai,
he has layers too, because there's that scene where Bayonetta and Greninja attack him, which are supposed to be stand-ins for Vincent and Yuffie. Ninja and that gun wielding darkness person. But there's an extra layer to that because Bayonetta is a witch who hunts angels. What is Sephiroth?
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Jeez,
it's
man.
so good.
The man
There's some
is
4D
insane,
chess
and
going
no
on
one
here.
in the industry like Sakurai. There's just so many things going on that you can only notice on repeat viewings. It's so great.
I think this might be our chance to see him really fanboying on Final Fantasy and getting a lot of stuff in there. He feels like a major fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Break Room Arcade with a really important question. Who is more powerful, Sephiroth or Kirby?
Kirby.
That is a fair question.
Kirby.
I'm tempted to say Kirby.
Sephiroth has lost.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Canonically,
Kirby has never
Sephiroth has lost. So,
Yeah, that's
Kirby.
twice. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I think it might be Kirby.
Kirby is a
The
tiny
answer's always
horror.
Kirby.
I did see people ask like bets on how many songs.
It's
So-
it's either going to be like a really good surprise and we're going to get a lot more than we're expecting, or it's going to be a really disappointing.
I'm
like,
gonna
it's gonna be
say
either a really good surprise or really disappointing in like one song. I think
it's I was gonna say it's either one or a bunch. Like it's not in between.
I'm gonna go out there and say 16. I don't know why 16, but just 16 because that seems like the typical number they usually toss out for these DLCs. However, with only only two actual remixes, but I mean, real quickly because I forgot about it earlier. Even more proof that Sakurai might be a huge Final Fantasy mark. The fact that we had Nobuo Uematsu do the theme for Brawl, and that's the only time he's ever contributed to the series. It's like that one time he was able to get him.
Right. Man, I'm torn, but I think the fact that we have this whole trailer. I mean, look at Sephiroth's trailer compared to Cloud's trailer, right? Which arguably should have been what this was, or at least to some degree. Cloud didn't get a CG trailer, and Cloud came with 2 songs, and that was it for his stage. No spirits for Final Fantasy, anything like that. So clearly, Cloud's at that point, whatever agreement Nintendo had come to with Square Enix was very limited. But now we have this whole ass CG trailer for Sephiroth, right? Showing Cloud and Sephiroth fighting. It just seems like this is a more legit inclusion in terms of volume, right? In terms of what they're allowed to show with Sephiroth this time around. So maybe, hopefully, they've the whatever discussions they needed to have to make this happen came with Sakurai saying, hey, look, Cloud was awesome, but you got to give us some music this time, some Mii Fighter costumes, some spirits, just something more. It just can't just be another Cloud release situation. So I'm going to say that we're going to get 10-ish songs. I'm going to say it'll be a nice surprise. 10-ish songs, but I don't think there'll be any remixes. I do think it'll be maybe like from Advent Children across the 7 universe, but I don't think there are going to be any remixes personally, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I am
more pessimistic. I'm guessing maybe just 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I would hope that
Fair.
Nobuo Uematsu comes back with a remix. That would probably never happen, but if he does,
I know.
But I don't think there's going to be that much music. Square Enix doesn't seem very.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I just hope
gonna,
it isn't only One Winged Angel. That
The-
was so disappointing.
the realist in me sides with Aurum's prediction. The optimist in me says that we will get either 6 or 7 songs to either bring the total to
The
7 or
optimist.
package him with 7.
Or package it with 7. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's my guess.
I do hope we at least get some 7 remake songs because God, those versions are
Me
amazing.
too. Just give me that battle theme. Give me the remake version
Yes.
of the battle theme, and I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to be tomorrow we're going to be doing this live.
Tomorrow.
So
Yeah.
even if you're not a patron, you can come watch us over on YouTube. Watch this whole 35-minute thing and figure out what's going on. But we
Watch
will
us
have
go
that.
nuts.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it'll be as hype inducing as the reveal, but you never know. Stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and put our next story up on the screen. Significantly less exciting, but interesting. And that is, this comes courtesy of Nintendo Soup. And it looks like Square Enix may possibly be reviving
Gamatsu is who
okay.
originated it.
Okay, so a little more credibility to it then. Nintendo Soup by way of Gamatsu. Square Enix in Japan registered Chocobo Grand Prix, which, if you're unfamiliar, is a sequel to the 1999 PlayStation 1 game Chocobo
Potential
Racing.
sequel.
Yeah, a potential sequel. Sorry, it's it seems to be tied to the franchise. And there was apparently plans to release Chocobo Racing 3D on the 3DS, but that was scrapped back in 2013. And I don't know a ton about Chocobo Racing. I've seen it, I've played it, but to me, when you say Chocobo Racing, I think of the mini game in Final Fantasy VII at the Golden Saucer, and not of its own game. Aurum, do you have any experience with Chocobo Racing? I sure don't.
Not in the slightest. I know it's a mini game, but that's about it.
I have a feeling Derek or
I mean,
Ash.
I played it briefly back in the day. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it, but I do love the idea of it coming back. I mean, Chocobos and racing, what's not to love there?
It's as it said in the chat by Rob on Enix. It's Square's attempt at Mario Kart, and my only experience with it was a demo they put out, which I wasn't super impressed with, but I also wasn't too used to classic Final Fantasy at that point. So I'm like, okay, I recognize the Chocobo, I recognize the Moogle. Why is there a fat Chocobo? Why is there like this? What's this black mage? Well, at the time, the black mage. Like, what is this guy's all about? So I didn't really get it. But it seems really cute. And something I was always like, well, I wonder if that was any good to go back to. Gamatsu also theorized that it could be tied to like a Final Fantasy 14 event, which fair. Could see that be a thing as well. But I think it'd be kind of fun to see Square go to this more cutesy classic Final Fantasy look with a new Chocobo racing game.
I'll be honest.
Maybe it's a remake. Who knows?
When I read this, I was immediately afraid that this would be a mobile game. I was like, cute Chocobo racing game.
I can see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, this might be another Mario Kart Tour situation. But I would honestly, if this is a console title that they're working on, I would welcome that with open arms. I would love to play a modern take on Chocobo Racing, because I think that, I like goofy kart racer type of games. So if it's well executed, I'm all in no matter what it was. Like, one of my favorite kart racing, like obscure kart racing games is, God, I don't know the American name. It's YY Racers. It's like the Konami kart racer for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that.
Yeah, you had like...
Is it mentioned by 112, Konami Crazy Racers? I'm not...
Yes, Crazy Racers. It had like Snake, Solid Snake, and Goemon in it. Like, it was awesome. It was a bunch of really good, at the time, Konami characters in a game that felt at least close enough to the Mario Kart that was on Game Boy Advance. Like, it wasn't that much worse. So, yeah, I would definitely love to see kind of a return of people trying to ape Mario Kart, but
there's opportunity considering Mario Kart. Nintendo hasn't released a new Mario Kart. We've just been coasting off a deluxe, so it worked out well for Crash. Did okay for Sonic.
I was gonna say Nickelodeon tried it, and that
Nickelodeon.
Yeah. People, I didn't play much of it ever myself, but people seem to like Mega Man Battle and Chase enough. I thought it was fine. It certainly wasn't offensive. Wouldn't mind seeing another go at that Mega Man racing game, but yeah.
Do you play kart racing form?
Oh, not too much. I mean, there's Mario Kart 8, obviously, but a little bit of Garfield recently. It's not that good, but surprisingly fun. I've been playing it with my friends, and I don't like playing it, but it's a lot of fun.
It's like the B movie of video games. Is what it sounds like.
I know Ant Dude wanted to do like a convention tournament with was it Garfield or was it the Hello Kitty racer?
Oh man, I would be down to race some Hello Kitty.
Absolutely.
Same. Like Sanrio in general, Sanrio racing, man. I'd be down with that.
You're bringing it back to anime. After Amy and I went to see the second My Hero Academia movie, we stopped in a little some sort of store, and they had a shirt where it was Sanrio crossed over with My Hero characters.
Yeah,
she got a shirt, and it's adorable.
I bought my wife. They have a All Might Hello Kitty pop figure, and so we have that on a shelf back here. You can't see it, but she collects Hello Kitty pop figures, and so yeah, I bought that one, and I need to get the rest of the set for her. But Christmas is also in 9 days, so we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right, so I think we've exhausted this brief story. The next one is interesting for a couple of reasons. I'm going to throw that up on the screen now. So first off, and most importantly, my favorite part of this story is that it comes to us from gamesindustry.biz and is written by Rebecca Valentine, one of my favorite people in all of games journalism, and our guest for Monday's episode of Today's News Tonight on the 21st. Right. So be sure to check her out. She just recently won a pretty prestigious award. I want to say for like best games journalist of the year from like I'll have to look it up, but it was very exciting to hear about it, and she won it the same day we had her boyfriend Imran Khan on the show. So my favorite gaming power couple. But anyway, the actual story, not that Rebecca isn't super cool, but Vin Diesel will work as president of creative convergence on both Arc 2 and the Arc animated series, and he's the executive producer of Arc 2. So if you're wondering why his head seemed pasted on at the last minute, it's probably because he joined their Patreon for $25 a month. But
the other reason is he continues to be a huge nerd.
Yes.
Because apparently he put hundreds of hours into Arc.
Yeah, to be fair, Vin Diesel actually, like, despite, stereotypical meathead type appearance, he is very much a huge nerd, like really into D&D, really into games, like probably a cool dude to have a beer with.
Thousands of hours.
Very vocal about it.
Thousands of hours into Arc.
Wow.
And he's been very vocal about that too. He is, as you said, Steve, just a big nerd, and it definitely gives him an even more endearing quality. And I just hope that we get some Dom Toretto DLC in Arc 2. If we get that, I'll play Arc 2.
Just an alternate costume.
Yeah. No, I want the whole thing. I want Dom's car. I want the whole thing, man. It's got to be all of it or nothing. You don't go half Fast and Furious. You go all in, or you don't go in at all.
You don't go half Fast Furious, like mildly quick and possibly upset. I'm not sure what the
we have our title.
If you don't live your life a quarter mile at a time, then don't even try. Don't even talk to me. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
That is an excellent quote. But yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm losing my shit over here about
I love Fast and Furious.
Ash just matter-of-factly saying that.
It's true.
So yeah, this is, I mean, we saw him in the trailer. It wasn't the best trailer, but it was weird to see Vin Diesel like in Arc, right? I'm not very optimistic about the game based on the quality of the trailer that I saw. It definitely, I mean, Arc was never my cup of tea to begin with. I have a feeling none of us here on the panel tonight play Arc a lot. I'm looking at Aurum, he's just like, nah.
Yeah, 0 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm setting the world record at least amount played.
Tied.
Yeah. So it's
we don't. How far off is the game though? It could shape up.
Yeah, I think
Arc was in early access for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah,
I think it was 2022. Am I wrong about that?
That's the animated series. That's the year.
Oh, right.
Maybe around there.
Yeah. The only thing that I take exception with is I don't like this trend of celebrities being brought into companies and given these weird bogus titles that no one else would ever have. Like, when Vin Diesel gives up this gig, they're not going to be like, quick guys, we need to backfill that. We need a new president of creative convergence.
We need a new person for this.
Yeah, like I think Will.i.am also has some made up position at like a tech company or something, like just a really weird one. So it's just it's strange to me. Like, just give him at least a normal sounding job title. I don't know. Like make him a chief creative officer. I don't know, but
then who's going to do the converging, Steve?
Well, that's true. I mean, maybe he has like a convergence assistant. I don't know. I mean, I will say though, I love the fact that Vin Diesel was like, I really like Arc, so I'm going to buy my way into the next one. Because honestly, if I were rich and I really liked a game, I would totally do that shit every time. I'd be like, Phantasy Star Online 2, I'm going to be in that. Shenmue 4, sign me up.
Fan of it, but I remember Ariana Grande being a character in that Final Fantasy mobile game.
Yeah, that's right. And she had a bunny suit on, didn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
I forgot about that.
But
I remember To be fair,
I mean,
that
it's not
one.
the first time Final Fantasy used a pop star. We got gacked.
Yeah, see how that worked out. Now we're locked on the PSP forever. But
I do like it when it goes the other way, because then it gets really weird. Like, remember that time that Square Enix lent Lightning out to Louis Vuitton ads? I think
yes, that was weird.
That was so weird. I want to see more weird stuff like that.
There's something about Lightning as a character where all those alternate costumes just don't work on her. They just look wrong. Like, you try to make her look sexy or have sex appeal at all, and it just, for me, falls flat on its face. It's like, this woman is going to kill me. I don't want to see her dressed up like this.
Final Fantasy 15, I do believe, had an actual car, but more importantly,
have an actual car.
It had actual cup noodles.
Yep. Yeah. 112 is on it. FF15 noodle quests. The way Gladio goes in on that quest, I will always appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I want more, like, campy ass obvious product placement in games. Like,
that's what makes it fun.
I lived for that quest. Like, I would go back and play that quest again if I could just jump straight to it. I would play it over and over just because. Yeah, and I love the performance specifically of the voice actors because they read it like they were reading a really bad commercial. Like, they didn't just they didn't perform it the way they performed the rest of their lines. It was obviously like radio ad quality, which was so good.
I loved it.
Yeah. So either way, I think it's cool that Vin Diesel bought his way into ARC. Like, you know, it's a total power move from somebody that has the money and influence to do so, and I respect it.
I'd do it like
I have zero interest in ARC 2, but if I had his kind of money, you bet I'd be calling Nintendo and being like, yo, make me an NPC in the next Zelda. I don't even care what I do, but put me in the trailer. Here's $10 million.
Yeah, kill me. I don't care. Have game just slit my throat.
I just want to show my mom I'm in Zelda, god damn it. So yeah, obviously nobody give me money because I will waste it.
That's not a good thing to say when we have a Patreon.
Sorry. If you'd like to give me money to be in the next Zelda game, patreon.com/gvgaming is where you can pay me to potentially waste my money. Oh, sorry. Normal pitch. Imagine I said good things. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our final story before I tank this whole endeavor. So this one is way out of left field. SNK just tweeted out that they've got a new console coming. The tweet just reads, a brand new console is coming from SNK in 2021, a system to bridge the needs between passionate fans and console gaming enthusiasts. Okay.
Are we getting a Neo Geo Mini?
Yeah. See,
I mean, yeah.
I'm intrigued. So there's a couple elements to this that I find weird. One, that font is very strange. Two, the W has an obvious Wi-Fi signal over it. So if it is a mini console, it stands to reason that they seem to be implying it will be online. Like, you'll be able to play online. The messaging says, like, it connects fans and console gaming enthusiasts, whatever that means. Right? So, I mean, I'm with you, Derek, that I expect like a mini console with preloaded games. I think if you're going into this thinking you're getting like an Xbox or a Switch even, you are going to be really disappointed. Especially because, I mean, every time a console seems to get announced out of nowhere, it seems to be one of these, you know, mini consoles with 16 or 20 preloaded games for anywhere between $75 and $300, depending on what company is putting one out this month. But I gotta say, I mean, I'm not the biggest SNK guy. I like King of Fighters. I like Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown. Like, their old 90s output was great. And I'm a big fighting game person, so I really like the idea of a console dedicated to fighting games. But, I mean, that's me making quite a few, like, logical leaps here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the text "who is the best player" suggests to me that, you know, along with the Wi-Fi symbol, suggests to me that maybe this will be a competitively focused console. Maybe this will be a mini console with games that are focused on competition. So, like fighting games, for example, that are Wi-Fi or that is Wi-Fi enabled. So maybe we're looking at like a competitive mini console with games specifically for 2 players.
I'm fully expecting like a fight stick with Wi-Fi capabilities, maybe even somehow streaming SNK games to it. I wouldn't be surprised.
That'd be
Yeah.
wild, especially if they went to like the state. Like, wow, if they went the Stadia route, and they could just stream, like have like the like almost an SNK Netflix, where you pull up a bunch of their old games and have them Wi-Fi capable. Like, it may not be competitive, but Metal Slug, do that 2-player online. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, see, our good friend Brandon does make a good point, though. Competitive players and Wi-Fi don't mix typically.
Yeah.
And that is really true. Like, I was just puzzling over this the other day. I was like, man, I wish I could find a wireless fight pad for any console. And I'm like, they just don't make them. They're all USB because people won't even accept the latency of a wireless controller in competitive fighting games. So I'm really, really deeply curious as to, you know, who this is marketed toward and how it's supposed to work. I mean, I will say this. I think that a lot of people overplay the latency involved in playing games over Wi-Fi. Like, if you've got a good internet connection and decently configured Wi-Fi, you probably don't need the extra bandwidth an Ethernet cable is going to give you. I mean, packet loss.
Like a top level
Right.
competitive player.
Exactly. If you're in the top like 1% of players on globally, then sure. Like, you're playing against people who can take advantage of those tiny pauses, you know, but by and large your player base can't capitalize on those moments. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about this thing. SNK is I didn't dig the Neo Geo Mini. I heard it was terrible. Or the Pocket. No, what was?
I didn't realize that came out.
Sorry, what was the one that they released that you could like?
What's that called?
It was like a small handheld device, but then you could hook it up to your TV, and it came with one of their typically big, large arcade sticks. It was a Neo Geo.
I don't
Neo
remember
Geo
that
X
at all.
says Charlie Bird?
Yes, Neo Geo X. I heard that
look
was
that up.
a terribly bad console. Like, the emulation on it was slow and buggy and nasty, and it was really expensive. So, I mean, I probably shouldn't be as optimistic about this as I am, but I also feel like you don't release a product like that and learn nothing, hopefully.
One would hope.
Yeah.
The thing that throws me off for the tweet itself, it's a system to bridge the needs between passionate fans and console gaming enthusiasts. Like,
What is the difference?
are those separate things?
Yeah. It's like the
Yeah, I thought that was weird too, drawing a distinction there.
this is like the meme of Pam, and they're like, corporate needs you to find the difference between this picture and this picture. So, you know, I feel bad.
Guesses, Aurum?
Not too many. I mean, console gaming and passion. Like, if they were to be different things, it would have to be some kind of way of playing multiplayer between a passionate fan and then a console gaming enthusiast. So,
Which is-
like,
yeah.
that's why I was thinking
Like, you
maybe
think
like
it's a-
cloud gaming.
And passionate enthusiast, like console gaming enthusiast. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If that's
Yeah.
the case, maybe like arcades on demand. Would not be surprised.
That's
That'd be cool.
true. What was it that Sega, like, I want to say earlier this year or at the beginning of this year, they announced something that was going to shake up the whole games industry, and it turned out just to be like a network for arcade games or something really inconsequential. And now Sega's arcades are closing, so I guess it didn't
Yeah,
work.
what a shame. Well, I guess maybe that has to do with the pandemic. Maybe that their efforts would have panned out if not for the pandemic. But yeah, that was what a bummer. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the Game Gear Micro. Oh god.
Oh my
That
god.
was out of nowhere. Yeah.
The Game Gear Micro was one of the most ill-conceived ideas. It was somehow more ill-conceived than the actual Game Gear, which is
yeah.
impressive.
Which is hard to do. Yeah.
They're like,
Why-
okay, take everything people didn't like about the Game Gear and make it worse. Like,
Presumably better battery life, but
yeah. How could you not have better battery life, though?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we have rounded out our stories. It was a real weird news day. We had a lot of stories, but none that were super exciting. Yeah,
sometimes
I don't know.
hey, we're almost at Christmas. The news is going to drop off. That's just
Yeah.
accepted at this point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
but at least we'll be able to talk about Sephiroth a bit on Friday, and
well, tomorrow.
yeah, I mean it's definitely
Well, tomorrow.
well
and
tomorrow,
Friday.
but I mean we'll also be able during TNT tomorrow. And
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Um,
Sorry. So
really quick, I wanted to mention something Jesse M said a little bit earlier in the chat. They said they would pay Nintendo to let them voice Kiddy Kong in the next Donkey Kong Country. Man, if I had the money, I would pay Nintendo to let you voice Kiddy in the next Donkey Kong Country, because I can't think of anybody in the world more deserving. Kiddy Kong doesn't deserve you, man. I don't know if there's anybody else.
Listen,
who stands Kiddy Kong the way
I would outbid him just to use out of context clips of John.
Okay. I can see that also being pretty great. Yeah.
Gyro is great. I just want. Sorry, John. You know we love you. I couldn't resist. All right.
Oh yeah.
So, that's it. That's our episode. So I'm gonna screw up the outro. Watch, guys. I'm cursed today. But before we sign off for the evening, Aurum, where can we find you, man?
You can find me on my YouTube channel. Just type in Aurum. Should be a picture of this lovely visage as the icon, and you'll find me there. On Twitter, twitter.com/AurumVG, and those are only 2 platforms that matter right now.
That's totally fair. Yeah, and if you haven't, like, he's really doing himself a disservice. His videos are hilarious, and they give you a peek into like the Nintendo Switch modding scene, which you'll never see here because, like I said, Nintendo sends review codes, and we're not going to endanger that by modding our games. But there is a bunch of really cool fan-created content, and Aurum does such a great job of presenting it. Like, it's funny, it's engaging, and like I said, I don't sub to a lot of people. He's got my sub, so please go give him yours as well. And with that, we are at the end of tonight's episode. But before we can sign off and do the post show, which, by the way, if you've never heard of our post show, that's because you're not on our Patreon. You can join us over at patreon.com/gvgaming. For as little as $1 a month to join our exclusive Discord. $5 a month gets you into our live audience where you can watch us do this live. I screwed up the intro to this. That'll be cut out. Maybe. Probably not. But you would miss our pre and our post show, which are exclusive to our live audience members. However, above those tiers, we have our producers. And each and every one of them deserves a huge thank you. All of you do. Without your support, this could not exist. And beyond that, we also have our executive producers, which I feel like we've just been gaining more and more people to add to this list. I am so grateful for every single one of you. We love you guys so much, as we do all our patrons. But these folks get a special call out, and each member gets a thank you at the end of every episode. Those fine folks are Rob Arman X, Dan and Twistle, Z Patty, whose birthday it is today. Happy birthday, my friend.
Happy birthday.
Adam O'Sullivan,
birthday.
Floating Mew, Christopher, The D-Pad, Vesmio, Waffle King, Kieran Phillips, Benny Yao, my mom, hi mom, Geller, Shiny Turkey, Titus Malvolio, Jake Pelka, Michael Phone, Mitchell Herring, Jay Acosta, Game Explain, Charles Oz, Andrew Medeiros, Jonathan Belmare, Kitty Kongfax, congratulations on DKC3, Patrick Harrison, 112, Scott Barber, Evernight Studio, Rocks the Cat, Loyal Crevice, and finally Azran127. And remember, like I said, if you want to join us, you can become a patron over at patreon.com/gvgaming. I already gave you our price list because I didn't read this copy. And with that, make sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming. If you like this video, please feel free to support us any way you can. We appreciate anything you can do. And until next time, guys, good night and good vibes. Bye, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.